Alright guys, today we're out in the garden. This is going to be a new kind of video, not fishing or anything. Today we're out in my garden and we have a bunch of stuff we need to plant for summer so I can go to the farmer's market this year and sell some stuff. We got a bunch of tomatoes to plant, bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, we got an eggplant. We have to move these peanut plants that came up this year. Got a bunch of stuff to do, so let's do it. All right, I just removed the 2 peanut plants. We're gonna go plant it in a different bed so they'll keep growing and making peanuts. I always have so much fun growing peanuts and digging through the soil in fall looking for all the peanuts. So and every year I always miss a couple of peanuts without knowing, and all the peanut plants always grow back. It's the funniest thing. All of these right here are all peanut plants. So we're gonna plant these with them. All right, we got the 2 peanut plants planted. I'm also gonna plant an eggplant right here. The peanuts always do really good growing underneath and throughout the eggplants. I always have eggplants planted here, and then peanuts grow underneath. It's kind of a great way to use the soil by growing plants that grow on the ground and growing plants that grow tall. They both do really good. So let's go grab the eggplant. We usually have like 5 or 6 eggplants, but the person we get our plants from, our eggplants from, he only had 1. He sold out of everything. We were a little late. I'm gonna dig just a small hole right about here. Kind of loosen up the roots a bit. And then just drop it in. There we go. That's perfect. And I don't think, I would water this pretty good, but I think it's gonna rain, so we're gonna hold off on watering all the plants we plant. If it doesn't rain this evening, then I'm just gonna water it before dark, or I'm gonna water it tomorrow or something, because I don't want to water it and then it rain. All right, let's see. Now we need to add some dirt right here, and then we're gonna plant some bell peppers. We're gonna use this dirt in this pot right here. Oh yeah, that's a lot of really good dirt right there. Now we're just gonna smooth it out, and then we'll be able to plant our bell peppers. All right, we got our dirt smoothed out. Now we're gonna plant these 2 bell peppers right here and right here. I got them about a foot apart because I'm gonna grow either carrots or parsley or green onions or stuff in between them. Usually, if they're in a pot, I would put 2 in a pot or something like that, because I have pretty big pots over here. But I'm gonna space them out a lot right here so I can grow stuff in and around them. That's what I do with most of my stuff, just like the eggplants and the peanuts. So we're gonna plant these real quick. And then there's a fence right here, and this fence is where I grow my cucumbers. So there's gonna be The bell peppers are gonna grow up I'm gonna put a pole in the ground. They're gonna grow up that, and then the cucumbers are gonna grow behind the bell peppers up this fence. After we remove all of the potatoes and carrots. But that'll be next week, because we're starting the farmer's market next week. And next week we are going to dig up all the carrots to sell. Most of them, not all of them. I have a couple of different batches of carrots. So yeah, let's get these planted. And these are brand new, not a whole lot of roots. That's good. Okay, I got this tomato plant, and now we're gonna plant it right here, kind of next to the bell peppers, but a little farther apart. I'm gonna plant it right here. This one has a lot of roots. I'm gonna dig a pretty deep hole, because you always want to plant the tomato plants a little farther up like this, because they grow roots out of their stem very easily. So you always want them to have a good root structure. So I'm going to dig a pretty deep hole. I'm just going to go in just like that. It's pretty deep. I'm going to remove most of the bottom leaves that might touch the ground, and then cover it up with dirt. And that is a perfect plant. And remove all the suckers so we can grow one big vine. And then we're gonna put a stake in the ground to let it grow up, just like the bell peppers. All right, we got some sweet banana peppers. There's 2 of them in here in this pot. I'm gonna try my best to separate them, and I'm gonna plant one in between these 2 rows of carrots right there, and I don't know where I'm gonna plant the other, but we're gonna plant one right here for now. All right, I just planted the sweet banana pepper right there by this white stick right there, so it can grow up the stick. I'm gonna plant this sweet banana pepper on this side of the fence, just across from that other one, because they tend to do good when they're next to each other, and it gets good pollination, so I can save the seeds. So we're gonna plant that one right there, cover it up with soil. All right, we got these 2 super sweet 100s. That's what it's called. They usually do pretty good in this area. I've grown them before. So I'm gonna plant one right here, and I think one right here in this one, this bed, in the middle of each one. So let's start doing that. All of these plants right here are just bok choy. It's a type of cabbage. All of those are just seedlings from last summer's harvest. So we're just gonna leave them there, and hopefully they'll grow and we're able to harvest them. So let's plant one tomato plant here. There we go. That's pretty good. And now we're gonna go plant this one over here. Right next to this big old flower plant. This flower right here also grew from a seed from last year's plant. Last year I had a plant in pretty much that same spot and left the seeds, and the seeds grew. And with cherry tomato plants, you usually don't remove the suckers off of the plant. You can, but I'm just gonna let them grow into a big old bush like I usually do. I don't even put a stake in the ground or anything for them to grow. They just turn into a big, tall, wide bush. I just kind of let them grow pretty wild. They're gonna be growing. I'm kind of giving them a head start by planting them right now, because in a few weeks I'm gonna plant pumpkins in the bed next to them, and hopefully by the time the pumpkins grow towards their bed that they're planted in, they'll be tall enough to get sunlight without the pumpkins taking over. Last year I did the same thing and it worked out great. I had pumpkins and tomatoes growing in the same bed. It's a really great use of space. So yeah, I think that's all we're gonna plant for today. We just gotta water them in, and then that's it for the day.